Alright, welcome back to my channel. This is Light Chuck. What we're doing is we're continuing in the Detainer pick series. So what we're going to be looking at today is testing this. So I did get this ready for the RWB pick. So things I had to change, I had to cut. So this was a 150 millimeter ejector pin, and I had to cut off 25 millimeters to get it to work in this RWB, because the way this is designed, it will take a 4 millimeter, but it won't go through. It stops right about in here, so it can't be too long. So what I did is I kind of put it in the pick, saw how much I had too much, measured it, and just took the Dremel and cut it off and kind of filed it. So some things that need to be fine-tuned on it, and it'll be independent per your pick whenever you make it. So some of the issues, a little bit of issue is what I'm having is the pick tip. I don't know if you can quite tell. Let's see. It's not quite lined up with the tensioner. So as you can see there, it's not completely symmetric as it follows it around. So the tip is deflecting a little bit and just needs a little bending and persuasion to get it back straight. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. One other thing, when I first put it together, the picking tip was not exactly even. So in the way I could tell, I felt it in the lock. It would grab in a certain direction, and it was smooth in the other, or vice versa. So I straightened up the tip a little bit, just with a little pair of needle nose, not much, just to get it, as you can see there, it's flush up against there. That's kind of my reference surface. So that's some things. Some other things that just need some fine tuning on. I need to take this back out. It's kind of dragging when it's in the pick. Part of that is when you clamp up in this pick, you're kind of squeezing this, so you need a little bit more clearance in here for it to be smooth, because I'm getting some resistance, which takes away from your feedback. So I probably need to take it out and file out or somehow hone out the inside here to give it more clearance. Or other option would be to kind of sand down the picking tip as well. That could be an option. That may be an easier option, is actually chuck the tensioner up into the ejector and just sand this part. Don't sand the tip that clamps down, just sand the tip part that's going to interfere here and kind of polish it down and get it back smooth. So that may be easier. I may do that. Be easier than that. But so here's the real thing, is the real test is to try to pick a lock with it. So this is one of those cam locks. I'll show you the profile. This is kind of the, I guess it would, I don't know if I have that key here. I don't see it. It was that little small key. It's kind of a offsets. It's not in the center like this one. Well, no. It's a little offset to the side. It's not quite in the center, so this key shouldn't, yeah, that key won't fit it. So this one's just off a little bit, and if I look in the back, I can see a couple more profiles. So we'll give it a try. So like any Detainer lock, to start with, and I don't have a key to this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and rotate everything clockwise and get it in the vise. So can't really show. I mean, it's not unlocked, because if it was unlocked, when I turned, you'd see this little bolt back here turning. So what I'm going to do now is just like I normally do with any pick, is I just go all the way to the back and start. I like starting from the back. That's just me. So I'm going to turn this a little bit so maybe you can see the indicators on the pick a little better, and I can, so I do kind of know the bidding because I have been testing with this one, so I will tell you that it's not a complete blind pick. I do somewhat know the bidding. But still, we're testing the pick tip more than anything to make sure it's functioning. So right now, if you notice, let me get back. Okay, so when I'm on a disc, you can tell that this top row of dots should not go past this line when I am, I'll tell you what, let me try this through the camera and slide this over. Maybe this will give me a little bit better quality. So hopefully you can see now the dots here should not go past that first line on the tension, because I'm tensioning here, I'm picking here. So when I'm on a disc, I should not go past. So I'm all the way in the back. So if I move up and find the first disc, all right, so I'm on the disc. It just does go past it, but, well, let's see. Get back on the disc. All right, come on now. All right, so I'm on the disc there. That's as far as it'll go that way. And if I turn, well, you can't probably see down here, but I don't go past the fifth line here. So that's 1 through 5 cuts basically on the key for the Abloy style. And I'm on the 1.6 millimeter space in here. So, all right, so that's the first disc and that's the back of the lock. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up the first disc, just like you do any other pick, and try to find a loose. All right, so I'm kind of loose there. So I'm gonna push forward, and the way I can tell I'm in between discs is, remember, I could turn further. So I'm gonna turn back, all right, till I find the next, make sure I'm on the next disc. Okay, so now I'm on that disc. And again, I'm gonna just turn until it frees up somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna go with that for right now. I gotta get off the disc. And I'm past it. See, I went past it. That's kind of me checking, make sure I'm on the right disc, which the dots help too. So I'm on the next disc. And pretty free right there. So I'm gonna go with that one. So that one's free at the 1 position or 0 position. All right, so where am I at? Okay, we'll okay, so right there on the front disc, so I'm gonna go back through, just give everybody a little check, make sure everything's still, see if everybody feels free. If they don't feel free, I remember where's that disc at? Or is that the disc? That's the disc. No. Okay, I'm on it better there. So it's loose there. Not moving. I'm going to leave it there. I get a little rotation there. So. Yeah, hopefully you heard that click. Let's see. Just trying to find where the disc is right there. Possibly. Nope. Oop. I slipped off. Did I go too far? I don't remember what dot I was on. Let me see. That should be the next to the last one, I thought. That's pretty free there. Let's see if I can find the next one. Okay, that feels pretty good there. Just having trouble with that disc, getting on that disc. Feels pretty free there. Feels pretty free there. And there we are. So we are open. The cam's turned. So it does work. I mean, is it perfect? No. Could it be better? Yes. But well, I gotta get it locked back up now so I can get my pick out. All right. So what? All right. So I had recorded some, but forgot I was zoomed in, and I was trying to show stuff, and forgot I was all zoomed in. So it doesn't really do you any good if you can't kind of see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna recover that. So things that could be better, things I can do better. I think I ground this tip too thin on one side. I got a little too heavy-handed on the bench grinder when I was doing the final thickness, and got one side a little too thin. So taking my time, maybe switching over to hand sandpaper. You can sand these down by hand, or files. So that's one thing I probably could do better. Need to finish polishing this up, polishing the rough edges, because I still can feel, and it's kind of, you can feel it in the pick, it's grabbing. So some finish work is what I need to do, is to make this better. And the fit between them, polishing that up, maybe thinning down the tensioner. The tensioner I think is pretty good, but it's not universal. So like real quick, see if this is in frame. So this is the actual padlock profile, and I don't think it will, yep, see, it won't fit that disc. It won't fit that disc, and it definitely won't fit that with the nub on the back. So this is kind of a specific tip for some of these cam locks that doesn't have the little nub on the back. So some things to think of. I mean, this is it's a useful tip. Don't get me wrong, it's not useful, but it's probably more suited for the little cam locks. So things to experiment and try. So there's some improvements definitely can be made, and it's so much friction right now. I'm losing my feedback, so that needs to be taken care of first. All right. So, question for y'all is, what do you want? Do you want to see more? More tips? If so, which types of locks? I mean, that was just one. That was a profile. I don't think I probably need to really show that. I mean, there's probably so many different ways you can make that. Other options, look at making. and probably more people have, or for the Chinese disc detainers, or the front tensioning. Whoops, get back in frame. So the front tension. This one's for the mini ones. So, and this one is probably for more of a standard size. These are for front tensioning. Let's see. That will also, this one, the one I just showed, can also be used for the Abloy Plus. So I believe I'd use that one to pick the Abloy Plus. The other option, there's many variations you can do. Like this is a little bit of a variation that I did that has this cut out, and this is thinned down, depending on the profile. Or maybe some of the locks that have that little bit of a profile, or let's see. Here is two different versions of a front tensioning, or excuse me, mid tensioning or random tensioning. So this is a random tensioning one. See how thin it is. So the picking tip is, and you can pick with either. You can pick with either, and you can tension with either. So this is another one that can be shown. Well, here's an easy one for the Chinese lock. This one was made as a rear tensioner. So that you tension here and pick here. This is all one piece. This is just one piece of stainless, and it's ground down. Whereas this one is it's a piece of stainless tube. Then there's a real small, like a 2mm, I think it's a 2mm tube, 2mm tube with a filler gauge, and this is silver soldered on. When I'm talking about this tip right here is silver soldered on, and then this is just an ejector pin that is ground down to the shape. So, kind of, what would you like to see? What would y'all like to see next? So I'll kind of leave it up to y'all. Or are you good with what I've shown so far? Does this get you a good start? But either way, I'm willing to do some more, but I want to do stuff that people want to see. So if there's something specific, leave me a comment, and I'll be glad to work on that. So, all right. Thanks for watching.